Although the Toyota Prius absolutely owns the hybrid segment of the auto business, no one's going to dispute that. Ford's new entry, the C-Max hybrid, is actually a pretty interesting alternative to what's available from Toyota. The C-Max has 188 combined horsepower, 141 of it coming from its gas engine, so therefore it goes 0 to 60 in about 8.1 seconds. You say, it's not that fast from 0 to 60. For a hybrid, it's like a rocket ship, and it's much faster than the Prius. Also, it has a lot of neat features available that are not available in the Prius. The C-Max is actually a pretty cool car, and it still gets 45 miles per gallon in the city, 40 out on the open road. Let's take a look at the style of it. It looks kind of reminiscent, the overall shape, to a former Toyota, the Yaris, that it's kind of a wagony crossover hatchback concept. This particular style of car historically has not been very well received with the public, but I do think that there is a place for the C-Max. It's roomy, it's versatile, and then of course it gets fabulous gas mileage. Not just being a hybrid, but this particular hybrid just does very well when it comes to economy. Taking a look inside, yes, the leather's not the most glamorous leather in the whole wide world, but the fact that it has leather at all in this price range isn't half bad. The technology, yes, the center console and everything looks super busy, but it also looks very modern for what it is. It's Ford has actually reached out and really tried to do something cool with the C-Max rather than make it just some ordinary people hauler. It's actually a pretty intriguing car. Room overall, obviously the tall roofline lends itself to having lots and lots of headroom. One thing is, even though it's a big version of a small platform, it's still pretty small. And so if I jump into the back seat here, I mean, no way. This is like way too small for an adult to sit in the back seat. The headroom is definitely abundant, but it is definitely for kids only in the back seat. The other thing you want to look out for, and we point this out a lot, if you're a mom and you have a baby seat in the back, one thing that you always want to be conscientious of when you're out test driving cars is you want to bring your baby seat with you, and maybe like a bowling ball or something with a little bit of weight to it. You'll realize very quickly not all cars are the same for getting a child seat in and out of the car, especially for people that have bad backs. Not all cars, see, the door doesn't open a full 90 degrees here. And then you also look at where the wheel well is here, this small entryway. It's a little more complicated than you might imagine to get a baby seat out of here. And so you do want to test it and make sure that it works for your situation. A door that opens a little bit bigger and a little bit easier ease of entry in the back seat would help that a lot. But this doesn't have that. So if a baby seat is part of the equation, it's something you're definitely going to want to think about. Taking a look in the back, it does have a power liftgate. In fact, you can get a C-Max where you just take your foot and put it underneath the bumper here, and that'll open that up. I don't know if that's really that great of a feature, but it's a novelty that's distinctive to the Ford brand, and a lot of people are attracted by that. Space-wise, again, because it's kind of a wagony sort of hatchback, it feels like a wagon in the back. It actually has a pretty nice storage space. However, it's not super deep, it's not super wide. If you're thinking you're going to load this up for bear and go on a long vacation with the family, this is actually probably the wrong car. It's still overall pretty small, but in the world of small cars, it's very roomy. Passenger side looks nice. Let's take a look on the inside. Now, as with all hybrids, it's both gas and electric. So when you start the car, it's not making any sounds whatsoever. As I look at the first 13,000 miles of this car's life, and that's what this car has, 13,000 miles, it's averaging 36.4 miles per gallon. So less than some of the posted numbers, but here we are in Seattle. It tends to be a pretty heavy traffic around here. 36.4 miles per gallon combined driving is actually fantastic around here, and it's one of the best that I've ever seen. Now this one has navigation. You just push the button and away it goes. And so I've seen that a lot of people don't like the Ford system. They say it's complicated or what have you. I actually don't think it's all that bad. It seems pretty intuitive for somebody like me who's not really technologically sophisticated. It's got a great stereo system for a Ford. It blows my mind. Ford has partnered with both Microsoft and Sony for the stereo and the sync component here in the center console. and I think they've actually done pretty good work. I mean, everything I've read about it says it's the worst thing in the world. I don't know why people feel so negatively towards this system. I think it's actually pretty cool. Digital climate control. This center area is really nice. It's all painted to painted finish as opposed to just a plastic finish. I think that's actually a really nice touch. Two-tone stitching on the seats. Normally more expensive cars have two-tone stitching. Even on kind of a lower end car like the C-Max, they went the extra mile to make it a little bit more sumptuous and accommodating. Driving this car, it actually drives really well. I mean, if it was just me driving back and forth to work, I'd be more than happy in this car. It's got a great stereo system, gets fabulous gas mileage, feels pretty cool to be inside of, pretty cool car to be seen in, you feel pretty modern in it. I like the idea of not having to get gas all that much, and I like the idea of all this glass and all this space. It's a pretty easy car to see out of. One thing that really bothers me is the windshield wipers. They kind of do this deal, and I don't know exactly what the logic was on that other than, ooh, that's different when you go out on a test drive and maybe you buy the car. But in actually driving the car in the rain, that's really annoying. And so in an area like this, that's one feature I wish they would have gone a different direction in. But overall, I think although it's not a super popular car and the reviews I've read really aren't that ecstatic about this car, I like it. I like it a lot. And if I was in the market for a hybrid, even though I know Toyota owns the segment, I think this would actually be the one for me. This Ford is a very cool car, and if you'd like to learn more about it, please don't hesitate to give me a call. My name is Joe Tunney here at Infiniti of Kirkland. You can call me anytime at 425-894-8230, or just drop me an email at joet@infinitiofkirkland.com.